us to break real quick so I can get the link up on my page. We will be back in a second. This is TJ, the Chicago Kid, Streetz Iz Talking Radio. Be right back. Hurry this.
I'm doing, but first I gotta know if you can be the one that I want, the man that I need. I'm not being cocky, but I might be your best ever. You might try to wife me, but you've gotta show that you're ready for my love. If you promise not to break my heart, I will give you all of my trust. If you guarantee that much, there's nothing I won't give to you. If you promise not to break my heart, I will give you all of my love. If you guarantee that much, there's nothing I won't do for you. How do I know that you ain't like them other dudes? How do I know that you won't do what they do? What makes you different? Don't wanna deal with the things that I did before. I gotta say, I really like your attitude. What I wanted, boy, I really like you. But before I give you my all, show me what I need to see. Yeah. If you promise not to break my heart, I won't give you all of my trust. If you guarantee that much, there's nothing I won't give to you. If you promise not to break my heart, I will give you all of my love. If you guarantee that much, there's nothing I won't do for you. Promise to take good care and to love me. And if you promise to never let me go, I swear that I'll take care of everything you need. Yeah, I know that I could be a Wonder Woman if you promise me. Yeah, if you promise not to break my heart, I will give you all of my trust. If you guarantee that much, there's nothing I won't give to you. If you promise not to break my heart, I will give you all of my love. If you guarantee that much, there's nothing I won't do for you.
I speak from my mind. I speak from my heart, my passion, my soul.
Welcome back, everybody. This is TJ, the Chicago Kid. Oh, damn, I forgot my name. On Streetz Iz Talking radio show. And this is my guest here. She is a friend of mine. I've been knowing of. How long we been knowing each other?
Since Black Voices.
That's been a long time.
That's a long time.
A long time. I got a lot of guts off. Let me shut up. And she's a fellow native Chicagoan.
Southside.
Anyway, this is my good friend Denise. We're gonna have to give her a name, Denise the Beast. And yes, why don't you introduce yourself to the listening audience, since they might be seeing more of you after the day if I don't run your ass off?
Okay, and that's highly possible. Well, I'll keep it short and simple. I am a Chicagoan through and through. I've been in this area on the East Coast now. I don't know, probably almost 30 years, but I still say pop, so I can't give up.
I had to get broke from that back in like '84.
Nah, I'm holding
when I
up to
came
it.
here for the summer, and I went to they had like the ice cream truck,
Yeah.
and I went to the ice cream truck, and I was like, yo, I need a pop, and they kept looking at me like, pop? I'm like, yeah, I need a pop, motherfucker. I'm thirsty. Oh, you mean a soda?
Well, I did have one occasion where someone thought I was trying to solicit drugs, but other than that,
Were you?
no.
I'm just saying. I mean, it ain't nothing wrong with a little
No.
puff give or nothing, no shit
it
like
was all
that.
good. So, yeah.
So today we have a wide array of topics that we want to talk about. Since I have a female perspective here, and y'all know I went on a rant last week about black feminists, and y'all damn near lost y'all mind. It's okay though, but I'm going to we're not going to go into that too much today. I mean, we might touch on it, but there's been a lot that's been going on in the week. I mean, this past week, and I don't have anything about Trump really, because normally I was shitting on him for the last 4 weeks, but now you get some surrogates of Trump. Now we know that what happened in we had the thing that happened in Las Vegas. I'm gonna touch on that. Okay, briefly. Let me just go ahead go with the Las Vegas thing right now, because I spent the whole half of my show last week talking about the Las Vegas shooting. Let me put this link up on my page, and I can just ask some people. The sheriff of, I guess, Las Vegas, the county or whatever, the sheriff, he came out and said that Stephen Paddock, who was the shooter who killed 58 people,
58.
injured almost 500, he finally came out and said that he had to have had help. He had to have had assistance. Duh. See, a lot of you all that want to be quick to call somebody a conspiracy theorist, you heard it from the sheriff.
Even my mama said that.
Your mama said
My
that
mama said that.
he had help?
My mom had said he had help.
What did you think when you saw it?
I thought either he was a deranged superhero that could just like wipe out people instantly, or he had help.
To the mic.
Okay. Can you hear me now? Is
I
that
know you
better?
got big lips, but they don't extend out that far.
Okay.
So he had the sheriff is saying that he had to have had help. Now, and I had said it leading up to even my show last week that it made no sense why he had 23 weapons in the room, rifles, shotguns, and handguns to perform a sniper event. I said that make no sense, because number one, a pistol, it ain't nothing at 400-500 meters. You just shooting and just hoping the bullet hits something. You can't aim at nothing with a pistol at that distance. So it made no sense for him to have that volume of weapons in the room. And what I said was, now here he go with the ESPN shit. See, I'm about to fire Trump from his own shit. I said that it made no sense for him to have all those weapons in the room. I said the only possible scenario that made sense to me was that he was trying to sell them. He had that many weapons in the room that he was going to sell them, because this man had no military background according to what they're telling us. He had no training. He was, I guess, an accountant who made some money, and he was a gambler. But then they find 20-some weapons in his room, 40-some weapons in his house. Nobody is stockpiling weapons like that unless there's something fishy in the game. And what has happened, allegedly, is Anonymous has hacked the system of the Las Vegas Police Department, and they took grabs of emails going back and forth between the FBI and the Las Vegas Police Department. And as a result, they see a discussion where they're saying that Paddock was actually working for the FBI as either an informant or an undercover agent, whatever the case may be. And there was an element that he was supposed to be selling the guns to. And they discovered him being an agent for the FBI in whatever capacity that he was. And they killed him and performed the act. And they're also saying, I guess, in that email exchange that the people that he was doing the business with to sell the guns to were actually Al-Qaeda or ISIS operatives, which lends credibility to ISIS saying that
They did it.
it was one of their people. So, I mean, I don't think that we got the whole story, and for whatever reason, it would look bad on the FBI, you know, especially those on the right who leaned on the Obama administration talking about the Fast and Furious ordeal. Now you got your own situation here where 58 people were killed because you all were doing some operation that went left. And now, you know, they're trying to keep it hush-hush. And they showed pictures of Paddock. I even got the pictures of the headshot. But that picture with that circle right there, they're saying that they came out and said that what they found in the room was a note that he was taking windage measurements. He had calculated, you know, how his bullets would drop as they were going in. And anybody with any kind of military affiliation, law enforcement affiliation, or anybody that's just went out and shot a rifle knows that if you perform some kind of event where you're using a fully automatic weapon, then trying to calculate distance and windage and velocity and the drop of them, it don't make no sense. You fully automatic, you just shooting in, squeezing the trigger and shooting into a crowd. So it makes absolutely no sense. But that's what they fed us. There's also a picture there. Put that picture back up, Trump. This man's apparently fired almost 1,000 rounds in that hotel room, and it don't even look like it's a good 60 on the ground. If it was 1,000 rounds he fired from that hotel room by himself, that floor would be covered in bullets, but it's not. So, you know, Las Vegas police, FBI, whoever fuck it is, we don't believe you. You need more people. I'm not over it, but I'm over it because they're not going to tell us the truth, especially if they fucked up on their end. So that's probably the last thing, unless it's something spectacular that comes forward with that. That's the last that I'll probably even say some shit about that, because that's just so much bullshit. I just don't know what to say. But moving on, what else happened this week? What else happened in the media or the news that caught your eye?
Oh, there was a young woman, student at Temple, who was shot by the police in Miami. She was celebrating her 22nd birthday, and she was in a car, her BMW, with a passenger, and they haven't gotten the autopsy report back, but she drove through a crowd. She ran over a police officer, and to get her to stop, they shot at the car and they killed her. And so she's from Maryland, God rest her soul, and her father is absolutely heartbroken, understandably. I mean, right now there are a lot of questions, but I think right now, if you black in America, one of the first things that came to my mind was, okay, the driver in Charlottesville drove through a crowd. He managed to be stopped, and he's alive. Police officers didn't feel a need to shoot to kill.
Blow his brains out, basically.
But this young woman at 22, they shot into the car once she drove off from running over this police officer, and so she's dead. And obviously there are probably things that we still don't yet know, but I'm always troubled by the fact that police officers, and this is not anything new, as so many people have said, we just now have more cameras that catch things. But it's really disturbing that the way to stop us is to kill us. So,
well, you know, black people don't respond to reason. We don't respond to commands. Us committing even the smallest infraction is a death sentence. And that's just the way it is in America. I mean, we can march about it. We can block traffic. None of that really is effective. You can kneel. You can stand. You can sit. There's never going to be anything that satisfies the beast when we start rising up on the plantation. So with that being said, it doesn't shock me that she was killed, and then this other white kid, I guess he took a police car and ran over somebody, and he shot him, or he escaped jail. What they did was they didn't pat him down. I believe that's the story. They didn't pat him down, and then later he pulled a gun out of nowhere. He shot and killed one of the police officers, and they took him into custody. That's just it. I mean, until nobody is going to value your life or value our lives until we make it a consequences when they don't. And we can't wait on a system that's set up and designed to oppress to fix itself or correct itself if we as the people who suffer from those injustices aren't willing to take a step, an aggressive step, to fix it. So, you know, I get what a lot of people saying that we got to get out and vote. You know, I got people who are saying you got to get out and vote. Let me just remind you all of something. We just had a black president for 8 years. And under his administration, I think because of the advent of cell phones and everybody pulling them out, the World Star era, we saw more police killings than we've been accustomed to. We already knew that they were going on, but we've seen more, physically seen more. And in that time, a lot of police officers, they were charged on a state level, some of them. Not many of them have gone to jail. I think only one, the one who shot Walter Scott in the back. I think he's the only one. He pled guilty. But all of these other officers, none of them were charged federally. I don't remember too many officers that were investigated by the federal government and charged by the feds, let alone convicted. We had with a stroke of a pen, directing his black attorney generals, Loretta Lynch, and, well, who was her predecessor? I forgot his name, the dude with the big, thick Steve Harvey mustache. But both with the directive of the president, they could have just charged an officer, and it didn't happen. And people were talking about, you know, they give him relief, saying that, you know, well, they opposed him. Well, the first 2 years, Barack Obama had a Democratic majority. He could have did basically whatever the fuck he wanted. And he did not prioritize our needs. He did not include our needs and redress of what we suffered in his thing that he was doing. So that's just how the beast functions. And nobody is going to respect us until we force them to. And you're not going to force somebody to respect you by blocking traffic. You're just not going to do it. You're not going to chant outside their house. You're not going to attack them on Twitter. You're not going to spam their Instagram page, or, you know, have a petty party and tie up their lines at their political office. You're just not going to get that way until these beasts start dropping in the streets. When they kill one of us, 2 of them drop, it's just not going to happen. They're not going to respect you in that capacity.
Wow, you just dropped a lot right there.
Uh-oh.
Okay, first of all, you need to tell me the dress code because I'm sitting up here on camera looking like I'm.
I didn't tell you to come in here. You dress whatever way you want. You could have came in bra and panties as long as
it's
it's
a jacket and I have a shirt on.
I told your black ass you was gonna be on camera. You knew that.
I didn't know that until last night, but I didn't think it was okay. So next time I
So-
know. But anyway, getting back to the topic at hand. I think protest is necessary. I think that while it is not the only alone, it is not effective. There are many things that need to be happening, but it certainly serves a purpose. And I think that one of the things that has happened over the course of our history of trying to deal with a post-slavery existence in this country is that we don't think about those strategies that work in concert to affect change, and we have to think about those things, and related to you mentioned Barack Obama, President Obama, and not prioritizing our needs. I think that there's some truth to that. But I also think that as a community, one of the things that we don't do a good job of is holding our leaders accountable. First of all, we have this notion that there is this one leader, like we always have to identify one leader, and there are many, and it doesn't have to be the person that's suited up. It may be somebody simply in your community or even within your own family. So we just have to broaden our understanding of what leadership is and what leadership looks like, and also expect that all of us can be part of that leadership. But we have to be able to say, okay, listen, this is what we want, this is what we need from you, and we have to keep knocking on the door. And I think that, and I won't lie, I mean, I think I certainly was part of that. You're so doggone happy to see a black man in office. I mean, come on. I didn't expect to see that in my lifetime. And so to be able to have it happen, I think we were all jubilant, and we might have been a little punch drunk in the beginning, but I think that as we saw what was happening and not having our needs prioritized, we needed to be talking to folks. We needed to be talking to, not just your Congress people. You need to be talking to your local leaders. I mean, that, there's a phrase that, politics is local, and there's a reason why. I mean, those are the people that you have access to, and we don't access them. We don't go to county council meetings and school board meetings and those kinds of things. So we have to be willing to put in the work. That's just my personal opinion.
That's gonna be another show because I don't agree with none of that pussy ass shit she just said. I don't agree with none of that. None of that shit work. We've been marching. We've been sitting in. We've been voting. We've been calling congressmen. We've been going to. Ain't none of that shit work. You know what work? Motherfucking gunfire. That's what works.
Okay, but here's.
Hold on. Let me finish.
Okay.
Gunfire works. When you destroy a system, the only problem I have with destroying the system is we need to have something to prop it up in its place. So we're never going to be able to destroy white supremacy. Get that out your head. You can't vote that away. You can't county council it. You can't go to no town hall meeting. You can't do none of that shit away until you prop something up. I'll take the Asian community for example.
Okay.
The Asian community per capita in the United States has the highest household income.
Yes.
But if you flip that, the Asian community also has the lowest voter turnout.
Right.
Nobody fucks with the Asian community.
Right. And there's a reason why.
Because they are self-sustained. If an Asian opens a business, an Asian will...
All of their children work at the business.
They work at the business. Everybody in the community patronizes their business. If there's something that they need, they go find somebody within their community that provides that. They purchase it from them. They rarely go outside their community. So in that sense, it creates an economic powerhouse.
Right.
So they don't have to sit and vote. They simply tell you, if you want this $5,000 contribution or you want this $10,000 contribution,
This is what you'll do.
This is what you're going to do. Nothing else works. The Jewish community is the same exact way.
But, and I'm not saying I absolutely agree with you, but I don't think that those other things that I talked about, I don't think that those are mutually exclusive. I think that they absolutely work in concert. I mean, particularly when you're talking about politics on a very local level. You want schools in your community to for instance, let's take the issue of, school suspension rates. So where I am in Montgomery County, suspension rates for Black and brown students are anywhere from 200% to 300% greater than white and Asian students, depending upon what the infraction is. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy.
And guess what Asians do? They build their own schools, just like Jews. They build their own school system. Okay. We put our children and entrust our children into a school system that historically has underserved us, and then we completely expect or act surprised when our students and our children are underserved and mistreated.
Right. So yeah, but
you can't fix it.
It's not about trying to fix racism, because you cannot fix racism.
You can't fix. You can't fix racism. You can't fix white supremacy. You can't.
Nobody's trying to. I don't think that's even think that's the point of protesting. What you can say is, get up off me. You can say that, and you can establish what that looks like. You can go into a school system and say, listen, I don't know what you have to do, but this is not going to be tolerated. But what happens is we a lot of times get distracted by other things. So for instance, for the longest time, one of the issues was this whole gifted and talented. So they dangle carrots in front of us. Oh, our kids are going to get into the gifted and talented program. And, they open the door a little bit wider and a few more of us can, shuffle in. And I, in no way, mean that as a disrespect or disregard for students who are working really hard, and even parents who are working really hard, and see that as a means of their children having better opportunity and better access and a better foundation. All I'm saying is there is a trade-off when we do that, and so we just have to understand that.
Well, I see that I have somebody that can probably go as long as me. But go ahead.
Oh, no, I was going to ask you if I can just say something real quick. It's kind of on the subject and it's kind of not on the subject, but I know I'm going to get a lot of flack when I say this, but I respect all of our ancestors, our civil rights leaders back in the day. I respect them. But the movement always, to me, was a little suspect, because what the movement kind of said was, Mr. White Man, we need you. We want you. Please help us. And it didn't really motivate us to become independent. It just made us seem like we needed handouts or help, or let's be together. And I'm not making fun of, desegregation. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that from that point on, it kind of made us seem like we can't do anything without white people.
I agree.
I disagree.
I agree. Now, this is what we're going to do. We're going to table this discussion to another episode.
Why we got to table it?
Because I got other stuff that I want to talk about, and we are already 30 minutes into the show. So we are already, almost there. Calm your punk ass down. We going to do this today,
okay,
but I want to move on.
From the west side, dude.
No, this is some west side shit right here, and I got a south side of here, and it's not going to end well.
Oh, please.
I'm going to end up calling the police on that motherfucking ass and say she got to put drugs in her car. Look,
I'm just saying.
The next thing we need to talk about, that I want to talk about.
When is the conversation going to pick up again? I need to put that on my calendar.
We'll do that the next week or so.
Okay,
because that's an important you
conversation.
You tried to go in. Shit, I didn't. Fuck.
That's an important
So
conversation.
I asked for a super smart motherfucker to come in here and sit down with me that ain't gonna be on no clown shit. Now she gonna take over the goddamn show.
I'm not taking
Look.
over. Look.
Okay, so the last week we seen some Negroes get in trouble. We seen Cam Newton get in trouble for what he said, and people went crazy. So I'm going to ask the engineer, Trump, I'm gonna need you to cue that Cam Newton video, and then we gonna do a brief discussion on that pussy ass shit that they got mad and made that boy apologize show.
The language.
Oh yeah, I curse on it.
I know you take a lot of pride in seeing your receivers play well. Devin Funchess has seemed to really embrace the physicality of his routes and getting those extra yards. Does that give you a little bit of an enjoyment to see him kind of truck sticking people out there?
It's funny to hear a female talk about routes. Like, it's funny.
Now, the reporter involved, Jordan Rodriguez, took to Twitter.
Okay, so Cam Newton in a post-game press conference said something to the effect that he was surprised that the female reporter knew something
Afterwards saying,
about
I don't think
it was funny. Yeah, this little bitch. This little fucking cracker. So she was leave that up. It was pretty cool after he said it. There was really no outrage until she went and tweeted
my
that.
last name when I came in.
No, you just got here. You stuck.
Oh,
She tweeted that. And then she tweeted some additionally saying that, she tried to talk to him one-on-one and it didn't go well and she didn't want to talk about it. And essentially activating her white privilege as a white woman to play the victim to the big bad black man, and everybody
Rodriguez, what's
everybody
the origin of
went ape shit crazy. And what happened afterwards is some people on Twitter went digging through her tweets and found out that she made quite a few. She dropped the N-bomb on one, and then she said that she was driving in the car with her father, and it was nothing but racist jokes, and she loved racist jokes, and she was entertained by it. So she quickly apologized. But
that's funny.
What I want to highlight is the fact that first it was she did that, then white women went after Cam, and then men in general was like, well, wait a minute. I mean, if I hear a woman talk about routes running, I would be shocked too. I would be surprised too.
I was surprised.
Of course, they try to say it's sexist because, of course, every woman in America know about routes. They know about blocking assignments. They know which holes that a running back sees. They don't. But he was surprised. Just like a woman would be surprised if I was sitting and telling her about I got a pattern for a dress and I was able to get the material from a store and sit down with a sewing machine and make that. She would be surprised that I would know about those things. So he was surprised that she knew about something that women traditionally don't get as knowledgeable about in football. People tried to say that it was disingenuous, that he was being a jerk. And, Cam ended up losing sponsors. White women went off, men defended them, and white women said, hey, black women, you black feminists, get them. And then the black feminists went ape shit.
I don't even know that they sort of had to put out the call. I think that...
Oh, it's a dog whistle. It's a dog whistle that they blow.
Well, maybe it is a dog whistle. I think that we as black women... have found ourselves in this really precarious situation of trying to figure out what it means to have value as a black and female person on this planet. And the truth of the matter is, it looks like that we may have more value or more kinship when we sort of think of ourselves as women first. And so, whether it's a dog whistle or not, this is kind of what we have been, I think, sort of scripted to respond to. And I think it gets us into trouble. I think it it doesn't allow us to take a breather and really sort of assess what's happening. I think it creates unnecessary strife between black men and black women, and it does. It gets a little bit tiring.
I think it's bullshit, and here's why. And I pointed this out on my social media. Sisters, let me speak to you all. You all are full of shit. Those of you, no, let me finish. Those of you that got upset with Cam are full of shit. And I was having this discussion with a buddy of mine I went to school with, his wife, last night, because I was going off about it. And, you know, she had this thing where black men don't defend black women. And I'm going to get to that point. And I'm like, well, black women really a lot of times don't defend black men. But let's look at this in its totality. As far as the NFL concerned, it is full of Neanderthal knuckle-dragging men. That's just a known fact. Mm-hmm. And you have had men who have stood on a dais and have done and said some sexist shit. You had recently Gronkowski make some kind of sexual innuendo on the mic to a female reporter. No outrage. You had Brett Favre text a media person with the New York Jets for when he was with the Jets. He played for the Jets. He texted her his penis picture his tallywackle. And there was no outrage from the white feminist community. And in essence, no outrage from black women. But Cam Newton said something that, while it could have been disingenuous, it could have been him being impressed. A white woman took offense to that to bring attention to herself. White women took offense to that to attack a man, particularly a black man. But since they're not really comfortable attacking black men like that,
they're very comfortable.
No. What they will do is, when they feel like a black man has done something sexist, they'll say something, then they'll ring the bell. Then here come the black feminists.
They're still very comfortable.
Well, I mean, they're comfortable, but they feel more comfortable letting their guard dogs do it. Their attack dogs, which are black feminists. Now, here's why this is real critical. There was no outrage with Brett Favre with what he did. There's been no outrage with what Gronkowski did. Neither one in their activities from that dais, from that locker room, towards a female reporter, towards a female person that's associated with their team, neither one lost a single fucking endorsement. Not one. The pitch man of the NFL, Peyton Manning, was accused of sexually harassing a team masseuse and teabagging one. He never lost a single endorsement. All of those, in my opinion, complete violations of women.
Absolutely.
But white women, white feminists, black women, black feminists had no problems with it. They say something about it, they move on. Cam Newton has been drugged through the mud, and he lost an endorsement to Danny Yoga, which we don't eat that shit anyway.
Well, I kind of like that Greek stuff, but I mean I threw it away. It was like,
they lost, but Dannon is one of the advertisers for the NFL, who has a history of. But here's cue that picture of Cam Newton. Here's what Cam Newton did prior to what he said on the DS. Oops. For you all that don't know, Cam Newton is related to Dr. Huey P. Newton.
Drop that name again, please.
Dr. Huey P. Newton.
One more time, because I just love the name.
Dr. Huey P. Newton, the Minister of Defense for the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense. He is related to Huey P. Newton. So that picture right there was what happened that Sunday prior to him going to that. And nobody in the NFL can say anything right now because they're like, whoa, we need to step back from these protests. He's standing there throwing up a black fist, even though Cam ain't been the most, his response to questions on race and ain't been the best. But he's standing there with a black fist.
But I think he's young and he'll learn.
He'll learn. He's learning.
He is learning.
It's not that he's going to learn. He's learning right now.
Yeah.
I actually think that was what the problem was.
It probably was.
Because if you're looking at Cam Newton and who he is in association to the NFL, Cam Newton right now is the preeminent black player. He is the preeminent black player. He's an MVP winner, and we don't know. I mean, I don't think there's ever been a time a black quarterback has won MVP. He plays at the position in the NFL, the quarterback spot. And if you lose him, and he begins to use his influence on the other players in the league, you got to get him. And then I want to roll that over until Jamel Hill.
But wait, before we get to her, I mean, let's really sort of talk about let's spend 2 minutes talking about this whole thing about black women's response. I don't want sisters to.
You better defend the sisters.
It's not even
That's
about
what you here for.
It's not even about defending sisters.
Massa gonna get you if you don't tell this Negro sitting with this hat that he wrong.
I'm not gonna tell you that you're wrong. What I am gonna say is that black men and black women need to get our house in order. And what happens is that white people are about race first. Black people are not. We identify as everything else but black first, and we got to be about the business of that. We have to understand what it means to have our house in order, and in relationship to one another. And this being so willing to just bring each other down and not have each other's backs. And that does not mean that we don't call each other out on the bullshit, because we have to. We have to hold each other accountable. If we have people out there that are doing things that they shouldn't be doing, or that's disruptive and destructive to our collective, they need to be called out. But even there's a way to do that. And it doesn't have to be put on a national stage, on a national platform. And it certainly doesn't have to be done in a way that we highlight a man or a woman and have them sort of lead them to the slaughterhouse. I mean, we've got to get out of that. And what I think is at the root of it is really how black men and black women relate to each other. And we know that goes back to slavery. Black women are still trying to, the whole psyche of it, trying to understand how black men weren't able to protect us from, the horrors of master. And black men are looking at us like, we're spoiled goods. Like we have just been damaged because we were violated. And so it's all of that is, we carry that.
But an easy way to correct that is this. Black men have to assert themselves as protectors of the community.
Absolutely.
And black women have to let them.
I agree. And we do have to do that.
You have to stop stepping in, because what used to happen on the plantation is black slave get ready to revolt. Black woman would step in the way, emasculate him if she had to in order to protect him.
Right.
And it's still that true today, because black women will say things like, for instance, men don't step in to protect black women. And I think, we could do better on both sides, black men and black women. We could but I think that's a crock of shit. I think that comes from the mindset of someone who wants to constantly portray themselves as a victim. Because I had this discussion yesterday with someone who said it, and I posted a picture of a meeting in D.C. because D.C. had a slur of black girls that end up missing going into 2017. So right after the Pussy Hat Convention in D.C., after Donald Trump, I'm saying Pussy Hat because that's what they call it. Yeah. They had the Women's March in D.C. after Donald Trump was inaugurated. And then shortly after that, there was a town hall meeting in D.C. where they were meeting about these missing girls. And if you look into the crowd, number one, you had white women at this Pussy Hat meeting that says that we're going to stop putting the concerns of women of color to the back burner. We're going to start, doing our part and putting you first. That was a lie, because at this meeting, there were no white women about these black girls missing. And white people, you all are probably 50% of the occupancy of D.C., if not more now. So the concern of black women, young black girls coming up missing should have been you all's too. But there was no black women, there was no white women in the crowd. And the majority of the people in that town hall meeting were men. black men. You look at, I showed him another picture. There was a picture of the march for Rakita Boyd, who was shot by a detective in Chicago. There was a march. The pictures in that march showed a majority of men. There was the march for Sandra Bland, men all in the crowd. So my thing is, even when Corinne Gaines got killed in Baltimore County by the police, you look and see on social media, I saw a lot of women saying she was stupid for endangering her kids. And I seen a lot of black men angry. So I think that that's just a lie being perpetrated.
What's the lie?
The lie that black men don't defend black women.
Well, absolutely, it's a lie.
It's a lie. It's a gross exaggeration of the facts. I think it's just spewed by people who want to be portrayed as victims and who have hopped on the bandwagon of we can keep the black man alive. We can keep him alive. We can keep him safe. So in order to keep him safe, we emasculate him and make him seem and appear to be ineffective. Moving on. Moving on.
No.
Moving on. No, we gotta go. We gotta go to the next stop because we 10 minutes from the top of the hour.
Okay.
I want to move on to Jamel Hill real quick. Jamel Hill was suspended for 2 weeks. I don't give a shit. I really don't. I'm not here for Jamel. She's not a martyr to me. You know, she has expressed a lot of anti-black male views with her circulating that moist ass article from Very Moist Brothers that black men are the white men, heterosexual black men are the white men of black people. And, you know, she kept jumping her monkey ass out there. First she jumped out there on Trump, and the Trump administration came after her, and, you know, the right came after her, and black men, including her co-hosts, went to her defense. And she got a little bit comfortable, and she started talking, running her mouth again about, you know, black people need to not put the onus on the players, that they need to boycott the advertisers. And she got clipped for 2 weeks. Now, I'm not here for her for that. What I'm here for is this.
Well,
hold on. Let me say this. Let me just say this.
Okay.
Where the white women at? You just told, your monkey ass just told Cam Newton last week that he needed to apologize.
Yeah.
You told him that.
She did.
That was your position. Because you put on your cape for white women to go after a young black man and put him in his place. Now that her motherfucking ass been suspended 2 weeks, where's all the white feminists? Well, where are the black feminists? I ain't even seen the black feminists make. If it was black men that ran Disney and ran ESPN that decided to suspend Jamel Hill for 2 weeks, do you think it would be this quiet?
Absolutely not. But you know what I will say about the suspension, and which I think, you know, I mean, I'm curious to see what her future comments will be. I think when you jump out there, and this isn't about agreeing or disagreeing with what she said, but I think when you jump out there with purpose and with conviction, and it's your truth, then you need to be prepared to essentially have your legs cut from under you. And I think that one of the things that we see with Colin Kaepernick is that he was ready.
Yeah, he knew he knew he was gonna go.
And this is, you know, and this is why I was kind of upset with the NAACP when it first asked that we boycott the NFL, because they made it about Colin Kaepernick needing a job. Colin Kaepernick does not need a job. Colin Kaepernick wants to see, you know, police brutality end. Mm-hmm. He does not need a job, and he was completely and totally prepared for the repercussions, and he didn't get up off his knee. So like I said, I'm curious to see what her future comments will be, because I just think that if you jump out there, then you should have been prepared and ready to receive the pink slip or whatever.
Here's an aspect that people aren't talking about. Everybody is celebrating the fact that Michael Smith, her co-host, decided that he's not going to do the show with her. He's falling on his sword because she keep being reckless. He is falling on his sword. They're going to fire both of them. Let's just get this straight.
Yeah,
Jamel Hill is going to get fired.
Yeah, I believe
and Michael Smith being loyal, he going to be out of a job too. Instead of her shutting her fucking mouth. And I'm not saying she's not supposed to comment on it. She should. She should be able to. But you see what the outcome is and you see where it's going. And not only are you just throwing yourself to the wolves feeling like people are going to take up for you, your co-host who is loyal as he is, because he wants to show that loyalty, he going to be out of a job too. What she's doing is not being smart. She's not doing it in the way. I mean, you already see that they're about to clip your wings. Yeah. So I hope you and Michael Smith have had that discussion. I'm going to get fired. And I know you're gonna follow me out the door, so I'm letting you know what's going on right now. I'm gonna be fired.
Well, it sort of begs the question, because I don't for one second think that she was prepared for the repercussions. It begs the question: did she feel like did she feel she would have the support of the white feminist community?
Yeah, I think she did. I think she thought.
Because I don't know, I get the impression that she's a little bit surprised that it's playing out.
I think if she got away with the Trump fiasco, and as a result, she tried it again, and they was waiting for her ass this time. And what she was really talking about, get ready to cue up my picture of my homie. She was talking about the fact that Jerry Jones, the owner and CEO of the Dallas Cowboys, stated that, look at that devil. That's a devil right there. They said that Jerry Jones says that any of his players who decide to take a knee during the national anthem, he is going to bench them. Which pretty much mirrors the words of what Trump said. What Trump has been saying all this time, which really is what set this off. He said that I want to see your owner. Tell them, get that son of a bitch off the field.
Right. And I thought we got a little bit ahead of ourselves when Trump said that, and then that following Sunday, the owners and coaches and all of them singing Kumbaya on the field, and people were really encouraged. And I always have to sort of check myself because I think, you're being a little bit cynical, because sometimes I am. But when I saw it, I was like, oh, this is just going straight to hell, because now the narrative is further hijacked, and really what the message is Trump, please shut the hell up. Do not tell us how to run our plantations. You run yours the way that you want to run yours, and we will run ours the way that we want to run ours.
I don't even think that was the owners. I don't even think that was the owners in the owners' bag. I think because it happened in such a short time span, the owners didn't have a contingency plan on how to address how their black players were going to respond. So
that's possible.
Week 1, it was like, okay, we're going to lock arms with you. Jerry Jones, we're going to kneel before the anthem. And then the week after that, once we let this settle and we can brainstorm on our white man team.
Yeah, but they didn't have to do that.
They had to do something.
They didn't have to do anything.
They had to do something because they had to make it appear, number one, that Trump wasn't in control. So
again,
in order to make
you
it
run your plantation.
No.
Like you run yours and let me run mine.
But see, what you did was because you haven't been watching my show. What I said last week was that these men knew who Trump was going into this. Jerry Jones donated $1 million to Trump, and this was after he said what he said about the Mexicans. This was after what he said about Rosie O'Donnell. This was after what he said about grabbing by the pussy. Dan Snyder donated $1 million. That's another show.
The
owner of the Jaguars donated $1 million. These are guys that stood out there arm in arm with their teams.
Right.
They knew who Trump was going into this.
Which is why I said that they absolutely didn't have to respond in that way.
So what Trump did was Trump forced his hands, because now the players are looking at the owners like, okay, well, I'm going to take a knee. Let me see what you're going to do. So they went out there and they tried to throw some water on the fire. And it didn't quite put the fire out. So now Jerry Jones is coming out straight saying exactly what Trump said without the son of a bitch. If you go on the field and you kneel during the anthem, I'm going to bench you.
Yeah,
he's not even the coach.
Right. They're probably going to have a policy enacted.
Yeah, well, see, that goes on to the next step, because the commissioner, Roger Goodell, basically came out with a statement the other day saying that, we heard you.
It wasn't basically, he said it.
We heard you. We saw what you did. I think it's best that you all stand, because now it's about patriotism. And then when we meet down in the fall to think about the new rules, we're going to implement a policy that says you have to stand during the anthem. There is a Supreme Court decision.
And we want to make $27 billion by, 2020 or whatever, something.
Yeah, there's a Supreme Court decision. I think it's the Board of Education of West Virginia, against Barnett, back in 1943 that says
Ooh,
that.
you went back.
Yeah, it is. It's a Supreme Court decision.
You went back.
Because, and I'm going to touch on this one in a second. There was a school district in Louisiana where the president of the school board said that students who don't kneel for the national anthem, don't stand for the national anthem, will be suspended from the team. And the ACLU came back and said, "No, you can't do that because we already have a Supreme Court decision since 1943. West Virginia School of Education Board of Education versus Barnett said that you can't enforce patriotism. You can't force people to put their hands over their heart. You can't force people to kneel. And this pretty much is going to come into play the next time the Cowboys play. And I think they got a bye coming up this week.
Yeah.
They got a bye coming up this week. It would be interesting, and even though I'm not really holding any of them, I really don't think that any of them do, but it would be real interesting for every black player as soon as the national anthem came on to take a knee. Now what you gonna do?
Well, I think not only do they have to take a knee, but black people, including y'all Redskins and Dallas.
We don't call them Redskins here. We call them the team racist name team.
Okay, them people. I think y'all need to turn off y'all TVs. I mean, seriously, it's not that serious. There is, and don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I probably haven't watched football very regularly since 1985 and 1986. That's a Chicago thing, but no, seriously, we need to turn off the television. We do not need to support the NFL. And, you know, there's a reason why you turn off the TV, because that translates into sponsorship dollars. And they know who is and who
They only
isn't.
respect the money.
They know who is and who isn't watching. So
Black people are the number one consumer in the United States.
So
$1.3 trillion spent in this economy. Trust me, they
will
attention.
know that thing called Nielsen, do you know thingamajigga? They will know when black people are not watching. And, you know, those commercials that, you know, we think are cute or whack or whatever, there's a message behind those commercials.
Which segues into another thing that I wanted to discuss.
Oh, I'm glad.
Of course, there's the issue with Dove soap. We've seen that commercial where they had the Dove soap, and the black girl take it off. She becomes white.
It's taken out of context.
People got upset. They wanna protest Dove soap. Jemele Hill suspended. They want to protest and boycott ESPN. These are the same people who I shall not name. I want to say his name, but I don't feel like getting a phone call. But these are the same people that insist on watching the NFL games. How you want to boycott Dove soap, which you don't use, and boycott ESPN because they suspended Jemele Hill? But when it was time to boycott the NFL, you all had nothing to say. You still watching the game. We're about to come up on the break because our sports segment is going to come up, and we're going to talk about something else that's near and dear to my heart, which is the 27th anniversary of the Million Man March in Washington, D.C. I was there in 1995, a little young kid from the west side of Chicago with my camera.
I was there, but I was on the perimeter because I
was there the night before.
Well, you were supposed to be there. I wasn't supposed to be there.
Yeah, but I was there. I got footage, and when I find this video camera, I got footage of the late Mayor Marion Barry. I was coming out of the subway, and he was the first person I saw.
Yeah.
And he was talking to somebody. I just lit my camera up, and he was just out there, the mayor of D.C., which was the murder capital of the United States at the time. He didn't have no security. He didn't have no police. The mayor was just walking around by himself. I was shocked.
Well, that night, because I was out there in the city, and I want to say, sisters, if you ever want to know what it feels like to be safe, be among black men who are about you, and it is a glorious feeling.
So we're gonna run a clip real quick. We might come back and take some callers. I ain't even put the number out there yet because I don't see nobody watching the goddamn show. I don't know what the fuck happened this week.
My gosh.
But We're gonna
Who
run
did
the
you
clip.
piss off?
No, I piss people off. I do that all the
Okay,
time.
okay.
But we're gonna come back real quick. We're gonna let y'all listen to what I saw, what stood out for me, which is very, very imperative to not only the black community, but just people in general. How people divide people. Minister Farrakhan reading the Willie Lynch letter. We'll be right back.
Look at a speech delivered by a white slaveholder on the banks of the James River in 1712. 68 years before our former slave masters permitted us to join the Christian faith. Listen to what he said. He said, quote, "In my bag, I have a foolproof method of controlling black slaves. I guarantee every one of you, if installed correctly, it will control the slaves for at least 300 years. My method is simple. Any member of your family or your overseer can use it. I have outlined a number of differences among the slaves, and I take these differences and I make them bigger. I use fear, distrust, and envy for control purposes." I want you to listen. What are those three things? Fear, envy, distrust. For what purpose? Control. To control who? The slave. Who is the slave? Us. Listen. He said, "These methods have worked on my modest plantation in the West Indies, and they will work throughout the South." Now, take this simple little list and think about it. On the top of my list is age, but it's only there because it starts with an A, and the second is color or shade. There's intelligence, sex, size of plantation, status of plantation, attitude of owners, whether the slaves live in the valley or on a hill, north, east, south, or west, have fine hair or coarse hair, or is tall or short. Now that you have a list of differences, I shall give you an outline of action. But before that, I shall assure you that distrust is stronger than trust, and envy is stronger than adulation, respect, or admiration. The black slave, after receiving this indoctrination, shall carry it on and will become self-refueling and self-generating for hundreds of years, maybe thousands of years. Now don't forget, you must pitch the old black male against the young black male, and the young black male against the old black male. You must use the female against the male, and you must use the male against the female. You must use the dark-skinned slave against the light-skinned slave, and the light-skinned slave against the dark-skinned slave. You must also have your white servants and overseers distrust all blacks. But it is necessary that your slaves trust and depend on us. They must love, respect, and trust only us. Gentlemen, these keys are your keys to control. Use them. Never miss an opportunity. And if used intensely for 1 year, the slaves themselves will remain perpetually distrustful. Thank you, gentlemen. End of quote. So spoke Willie Lynch 283 years ago.
Wow, that was a very look. Somebody got to be. I swear, people are just. Don't you hate when people know you are doing something important right now, and they decide to call you anyway? Come on, son, stop that. This is TJ the Chicago Kid, Streetz Iz Talking radio show. If you all have any questions or concerns or things that you want to get off your chest, the phone number is 301-288-3100. This is my guest, Denise the Beast. Yeah, that's your new name. I'm just gonna go ahead and just hit you with the Denise the Beast.
Oh, God.
we were just showing a clip of Minister Farrakhan giving a speech on the Willie Lynch letter in 1995, October 15th, coming up on the 15th, well, not 15th, the 27th anniversary of the Million Man. Was you there, Trump, or were you a lost Negro? You was in school? What was you in school at? Potomac. Oh, you was in high school? Damn, I feel old. I ain't gonna tell y'all how old I am. I'm young looking, but I'm old in the motherfucker. I feel it every day that I get up out of bed. My daughters remind me of how old I am, and that's why they stay on punishment and don't get no damn allowance. Look, right now, I was calling this. I was trying to see if my boy CP3000 was gonna call in, but of course his country ass. I ain't talked to him in a couple of days, so he probably, he coaching wheelchair badminton team. So, so I don't expect him to call today. But it ain't much going on in the sports world that we necessarily need to talk about. But what I do want to talk about right now, and those of you that are listening that I have put on my social media, I want to talk about the photaps, the fake ass hoteps, you blacker than black, blackety black Negroes that are losing your shit this morning. You know that they had the BET Hip Hop Awards last night, right?
Yes.
And of course, Eminem came and gave a freestyle where he pretty much took Donald Trump across his knee and spanked him.
He did.
It was pretty dope. And he told his audience, he told his fans that if they was supporters of Donald Trump,
step up to the scratch line, y'all. Dare you.
Fuck you. That's what he basically said. And some black people like, yeah, Eminem, he did a good job. He was dope. He turned it out, X, Y, and Z. And of course, the unhappy, nappy-headed, shea butter using, jail twist having, no deodorant using, Photep, super black, selling incense, burning incense, vegan, vegetarian, Whole Foods shopping, final call reading, motherfuckers, y'all done just went the fuck off this morning. And why, I don't fucking know. Because they have this thing where, because he's white, it's not authentic.
Bullshit. Okay, let me just say.
Okay, go ahead.
Let me just say that.
I don't even know her feelings on Eminem, but I'm going to just let her voice what she said.
Let me just say about Eminem. I think that Eminem is one of the most authentic MCs out there. And I don't think that he has acculturated anything. I think what he has historically rapped about, even his most vulgar lyrics, was all about his truth and where he was and and his pain. And I think that's one of the things that we have lost in this whole hip hop is dead kind of thing is we're not spitting truth anymore. We're spitting bullshit. And so now we can't even recognize it.
Well,
but
this is the thing that irked my soul.
I just have to say that.
This is the thing that irked my soul this morning. First of all, my man Harvey, he jumped out there saying that he's only doing
Steve?
No.
Oh, no. Okay. I was like, okay, that's
he jumped out. His first thing was everybody is talking about it, but it's not genuine because Eminem is coming out with an album. That's bullshit because number one, Eminem made a song, an anti-Trump song prior to the election.
Yes, he did.
And Eminem has been one of the most anti-establishment rappers who actually speaks about and name drops those white people who appropriate black culture.
Yeah.
He makes complete fun of them. Eminem has never done anything to make anybody believe that he's trying to be black or he's trying to appropriate the culture in order to make money. He's always said throughout his raps that if he was black, he wouldn't sell as much. He's always said that. And his thing was, well, he wouldn't do it on MTV. He's probably done worse on MTV. And my thing is, so what? And then I have other people that's saying that, he's a culture vulture. And this is what kills me about Negroes who just ain't got shit to do but get on the goddamn computer and try to out-black each other. Your motherfucking ass like the Migos. How you getting fucking mad at somebody you saying is appropriating the culture, but you don't speak on nobody who's destroying the fucking culture? Because the last time I checked, motherfuckers like Migos is the one that come out with this mumble rap bullshit. You got the Migos, you got Future, you got Chief Keef, you got Young Thug, all these motherfucking mumble rappers who completely destroy the culture, or who'll stand up there like Young Thug when he's asking about Black Lives Matter, saying, "No, I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about. I want to talk about all this ice and this jewelry."
What you mean is racism?
What you mean? Or Lil Wayne that say, "I ain't never seen no racism. I ain't never experienced racism is dead to me. So, you know, you talk about that man is taking video of me. I don't know what you talking about, lady." You don't get mad at that motherfucker who's destroying the culture. You don't get mad at a motherfucker like Soulja Boy who says that I want to thank all the slave masters for taking us out of Africa so we wouldn't be wearing all this ice and jewelry. These motherfuckers are degenerating a culture that has always had a political backbone. And ain't shit political about them. You will get up your funky ass, and I'm saying a lot of these people are my friends, but they know I'm genuine as fuck and how I feel. But you'll get your funky ass up in the morning, and I know, because I know the first thing a nigga gonna say is you putting on your cape for Eminem. Shut the fuck up with that bullshit. I'm probably one of the most authentic black motherfuckers you know, so don't even try that bullshit with me. But the fact is, you spend more goddamn time looking for shit to bitch about. Looking for shit to try to out-black somebody with. The fact of the matter is, the man stood up, he threw up a black fist. When the fuck, you know...
It took the other NFL players like almost a whole year.
Right, it took NFL players almost a whole... Nobody was fucking supporting fucking Colin Kaepernick. Nobody. They wouldn't kneel. What percentage, what, the Bennett brothers? Very few players would take a knee or hold up a black fist during the national anthem. It took Trump to say something to make these niggas get on their knee before the anthem or to lock arm with their owners. And here it is, Eminem came out and basically told his fan base, because let me tell you something, all you niggas, all you niggas, and I'm calling each one of y'all black asses out, you don't fucking buy Eminem. You don't buy his albums. You don't go to his fucking concerts. So when he stands up and tell his white purchasers.
Yes, his white purchasers.
Because the white people are the ones that's buying hip-hop. You niggas like me illegally download. But for him to say that if you support Trump, after everything he rapped about Puerto Rico, about Colin Kaepernick, about trying to hold the police accountable, everything that he fucking rapped about, he closed his freestyle out with, if you are a Trump supporter and you're a fan of mine, fuck you.
He said it.
Where's the culture vulture in that? I mean, you niggas don't even buy his album. So if you continue to motherfucking shit on him on social media, it don't make him no difference. I got a call coming in. You took my money. Okay, I got a call coming in. I've ran it, and I think that's the FCC calling. Caller, what's your name? Where you coming from?
Man, this is CP3000, man. I'm calling with the motherfucking sports report.
You motherfucker, you. First of all, your motherfucking ass late. I went into a fucking very angry rant, and here your punk ass calling in with this. This is CP3000 with the Streetz Iz Talking sports report from the locker room. What the fuck is? Why is you so late, man? I know you coaching. I know you coaching pygmy badminton, but what's up? What's going on?
Look, man, very sad week in sports for a lot of Giant fans. Odell Beckham Jr. out for the season, man. Out for the season.
Very good.
Very good.
Very good. Shout out to Rashad Dunn. Very good. Go ahead.
Damn. Well, anyway, the Saints cut bait on Adrian Peterson, trade him to the Cardinals for literally nothing. That's all the NFL news we're going to go with. The Major League Baseball playoffs are underway.
Hold on. Let me stop you for a second. We still have another NFL thing that we could talk about. I mean, you don't got no feelings on Jerry Jones?
Jerry Jones, we're going to get back to that. I don't need to consider that NFL news.
Let's go. Let's go.
All right. So now, the Astros have advanced to the American League Championship Series. Also, the
Cubs.
No, the Dodgers. The Dodgers have advanced to the National League Championship Series. The Cubs are up 2-1 on the Nationals, and the Yankees and Indians are tied at 2-2. So they're each playing to get to the championship series. and see who can go to the World Series. But so that's what's going on in baseball. But yeah, now back to Jerry Jones, man.
Tell me how you feel.
Now,
tell me how you feel.
How I feel, man. I mean, at some point, Negroes have got to wake up, man. I mean, this guy, I saw a lot of guys, you know, man, Jerry Jones, real, man. He down for his players, you know, when he pulled that stunt and kneeled before the anthem, you know what I'm talking about?
And that's what it was, a stunt.
Yeah. He fooled them, man. He made them think it was some kind of compromise, you know, had them all thinking, hey, Jerry's going to ride with us. And then he just showed you right where he was at, man, what side he's really on. You know, he probably got a call from his boy, Donald, man. Hey, man, what the hell you doing, man? You know what I'm saying? You forgot what's going on out here?
Yeah.
You don't know what time it is in these streets, man? He did
exactly what Donald said an owner should do. And Jerry was not only did Jerry do it, Jerry was the first to step up and do it. He was the first owner to step up and say, yeah, you know what, Donald was right. If you motherfuckers if y'all kneel y'all ass during the national anthem, I'm going to bench you. First one to do it.
Yeah.
Well, Jerry also has the distinguishment of being, what is it? He's the Cowboys are the highest revenue generator of the NFL.
In the NFL, yeah. He's setting
that's a lot of money.
You gotta know. You had to know this was coming. I mean, they're America's team. He built this brand, America's team. There's no way he's gonna allow these Negroes to be running around here.
I don't give a shit if it was the Wisconsin Jigaboos. The fact of the matter is, it was coming. It was going to happen. It was just a matter of time. And that's what all of the owners have been feeling the whole time. They just needed somebody bold enough to step up and say, you know what, Trump is right. You all are going to stand for the national anthem. And like I have said before the NFL was outed, they was charging the Department of Defense $12.9 million to have displays of patriotism during their games until they was outed about it and they gave the money back. They don't give a fuck about patriotism. They care about the bottom line, the dollar, and black people need to realize that they don't give a fuck about you, whether you watching. I mean, look, check it out. We were talking about this the other day, CP, about how they use DNA and K-Shine, the two battle rappers, in the new ESPN commercial to promote the football games.
Oh yeah, that was straight up. That's what they do, man. They put us against each other.
They know that the boycott is hurting them, so they got to do something to pull us back in. But you know what? I don't like K-Shine, and until DNA put his two back in the mouth, fuck him. What else you got? What else you got talking about, CP?
You know, preseason basketball is heating up. NBA season right around the corner, man. Los Angeles Lakers, man.
Man, fuck the Lakers.
Hottest ticket in the league.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you what. I'm telling you, and my man Donald King will testify to this. I'm telling you, the action is in Philly. Action is in Philly,
man, but fuck the Eagles, man.
I ain't talking about the Eagles. I'm talking about the 76ers. We was talking about basketball, motherfucker.
Yeah, I know, but I got to throw that in, man, you know, just on GP.
I was a
You've
Dr.
been talking
J
about
fan.
Donald King, and it just, you know.
You can't keep doing that. So fuck the Lakers. Kobe liked fuck white girls in the ass and with no condoms. And Magic got a son.
Have a snappy comeback.
Magic got a son. Magic got a son with a 5-pound bag of sugar in his tank.
Stop. Jesus.
Hey man, I can't deal with your shenanigans today, man. I'm out of here.
All right, bro.
All right.
Jesus.
What? EJ got a lot of sugar in his tank. He got an old 5-pound bag.
I am a lady. Thank you very much.
How long have you been knowing me?
I don't care.
How long have you been knowing me?
It does not matter.
Have my mouth been this potty the entire time?
Lord have mercy.
It ain't deterred you in all this time. I'm sorry if people gonna be looking at your show like, oh my God, I didn't know she know people like that. Oh my God. Denise, who is that guy?
That's probably true.
Who is that guy? How do you know him?
How do you know him?
I think we need to look into your background.
I know. Oh my gosh.
But back to what I was saying. I mean, I get so tired of the phone taps. It's just It's too much. I mean, come on. Y'all don't even buy Eminem albums. Y'all talking about he appropriating the culture. And you know, you got people talking about they appropriating the culture. Some of them got weaves in their head. They went expensive.
That's a whole nother.
I mean, I'm just saying, what are you talking about?
But I have to, let me just jump in here. I got a really quick question about hair weaves. Why are black men not rejecting that shit?
Who not?
Black men as a whole are not rejecting
Who's
that.
not?
What do you mean, who's not?
Okay, you have two black men in the room. Would you like to ask us about our feelings on weave?
I'm saying, as a whole.
As a whole.
Black women who are wearing
let me cut you. Let me just go ahead and say this.
Crazy. Are typically on the arm of a black man, and I just want to know, why are black men in general not rejecting? Here's
what I'm going to say to that. Here's what I'm going to say. You ready?
I'm ready.
I have never, in the years that I've been on this earth as a black man, heard a black man describe a black woman.
Mm-hmm.
And she pretty.
Mm-hmm.
She got big titties.
Mm-hmm.
She got a big ass, a flat stomach. And man, she got this weave. I ain't never heard a man say.
But I'm sure you've heard a brother say something about a sister who, you know, was sporting her natural hair, and it was like, yeah, I couldn't quite.
Well, I mean, you
come on now.
Okay, the absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence.
I get that.
The fact of the matter is that, you know, black women sitting on something we want, and we're willing to look past a couple of deficiencies in order to get it.
You know, but that's okay.
I'm just simply saying that the majority of black men that I know, the majority of black men that I know some that say they don't have a problem with it, but I've never heard anyone saying that they like it. We don't like it.
But so why not reject it? Because it's harmful.
Because if you reject it, you're not going to get that booty that you're trying to get.
You know what? I disagree, because I think that if black men as a collective were telling sisters, look, sisters, chuck that shit. You know, I like your hair. However, whatever it's going to do, let it do it. I think black women would, in fact, say, okay,
I don't believe it for 1 second.
I believe it.
I don't believe it for 1 second because
who are we trying to impress?
I'm going to tell you why. Whenever I hear black women defend their hair as far as, you know, what they do to it.
I pay for it. I know.
We wear it because men like it. Look at men like Beyonce. And men like this woman and she got weave and shit. No. No black man is looking at Beyonce and saying she's beautiful because of her hair. Nobody. Not one. We don't care about that shit. We would prefer, I'm telling you, a majority of us would prefer that you have your hair natural and you do it something manageable with it. We don't want to be putting our hands through your hair and picking bugs from it and shit because you ain't washed it in for so long. But I don't generally think that black men are attracted to women with these long, you know, it's like they're saying that he like Beyonce because Beyonce got weave, as if we looking past her curves, as if we're looking past her big ass, as we're looking past her form and all we see is hair. No, that's not it. Look, ladies, of you that got that, we don't like that bullshit. We just because we still will bend you over and put your head through the headboard or take some of that neck from you from time to time, that don't mean that we like that shit. You leaving them strings of fucking hair on our sink and washing it down, and we got to pour Drano in our shit because that shit don't goddamn go down in the goddamn pipes. We don't believe that. We don't like that shit. We don't. And I'm speaking for all black men on that issue. We don't like your hair when you got all that bullshit in your head. I'm just hoping we can clear that up right now. I mean, we can have another discussion about that, about black hair, because I got to have this conversation with my youngest daughter. And one of these days, I promised her that we're going to sit down and we're going to watch Good Hair by Chris Rock, because she belongs to a dance troupe. And they got to have these weaves. And they went down to Georgia a couple of weeks back, and they had to have these wigs, right? So she had the wig, and then she came back from Georgia. And then come Monday morning, you know, I get up late every day while she gets up going to school, and she thought she was going to be able to pull that bullshit off. And I called her little motherfucking ass. I walked into her room and she got this weave on, getting ready to go to school. This wig. And I'm like, what's going on with your hair? I was waiting to school because my hair ain't done. Well, you're going to go to school without your hair being done. Because you came here yesterday, got off the bus, came in the house and asked, because you walked to 7-Eleven with your friends, which is like a 3-mile walk each way. And you walked there and you came back and you didn't have the time to do your hair. So you think you're going to go out here with this hat? No, you're not. And I had to end up having a conversation with her later on in the day. Here we go again with people just want to call me while I'm live streaming. I had to have a conversation with her later today about accepting who she is, who her appearance is, and not trying to alter her appearance to look like somebody that she's not naturally. And I think she got it, but I still want her to sit down and understand the scientific portion behind it as far as putting sodium hydroxide, which is basically acid in your hair, and putting it in your scalp and it going into your
that stuff causes mold too.
It's not only that, but I'm not a woman, and I don't want anybody that that are women to call up here and tell me I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, because I got this directly from the movie. But one of the doctors said that one of the biggest commonalities between black women and Jewish women are fibroids.
Yes.
That's just the two. That's the one medical condition that links black women and Jewish women, and the one common denominator between black women and Jewish women is relaxers and perms.
To tame the kinky hair.
Black women relax their hair, Jewish women perm their hair, and as a result, these chemicals leak into the brain, leak into the bloodstream, and could potentially be called the cause of fibroids, because they don't know what caused fibroids. They just know that black women and Jewish women have this in common. So, that's that. You took us on a whole nother road.
Because that's important to me as a black woman. I need brothers. I'm gonna say this, brothers, sisters need you all to love us when we don't love ourselves. Okay, I had to say that. Think about it. Sit on it for a minute.
I could go into that. Y'all need us to love y'all when y'all don't love yourselves. Mm-hmm. Sisters, behind that comment is be able to acknowledge when black men are trying to love you as opposed to us trying to fuck you. Everything ain't about us being thirsty. Stop thinking that because a man says something complimentary to you, he's being thirsty. You look like a fucking idiot. Because if it was a dude that you wanted to get that neck to, that comment would be appreciated. But when it's a dude that you don't want to get a ha to, now all of a sudden he thirsty.
You could have put the period.
I ain't gonna put no period.
It was profound. couldn't he have just put the period?
I had to say it. I had to say it because
it was
the fact when y'all want that, when y'all want to give up that ha, when we say something complimentary to y'all, everything is okay. But when y'all don't, y'all ain't feeling us, then all of a sudden we thirsty. Chivalry is dead and women killed it. Y'all killed it. Y'all killed it. It's dead and it's stinking. Now, if you want to be like Jesus and raise Lazarus from the dead, you're going to have to make some changes. But for real, you all killed.
I agree.
Okay, well,
But I still think you could have put the period. Just let it simmer. Let it, because sometimes, yes. Because sometimes, yes. Because sometimes you need people just to kind of sit on things and absorb it and kind of hear you.
I'm going to tell you why I couldn't let that go.
I'm listening.
I couldn't let that go because we have to get out of today's black woman feeling like she has to feel victimized.
I don't think it's about feeling victimized. I think that sometimes you just need people to come to whatever process, reconciliation, whatever it is that they have to do, because we are thinking human beings. Well, and I think I agree. And I think that part of the process of getting to that next step, or elevating yourself, you have to be able to sit on some things and think. It's a process.
Yeah, it's a process, but at the same time,
okay. And so it's not about being a victim.
You cannot remove responsibility for people for creating situations that they put themselves in. If you feel like black men, if black women feel like black men aren't loving them enough, even when they don't love themselves.
I didn't say black men aren't loving us enough.
No, I said, okay, you said that black men please love us when we're not loving ourselves.
That is what I said.
But the point I'm trying to make is that you can't keep creating a situation Number one, well, somebody has to love you when you don't love yourself. You should love yourself above all others.
I think that's true, but we're also talking about a society where black women, in terms of, you know, whatever that ladder is, we're on the bottom when it comes to, there is not a woman on the planet who is as disenfranchised from her natural mate as black women. And when you don't have that to fall back on, the only word I can come up with is it's devastating.
I don't agree with that statement, and here's why.
Okay, I want to know why a black man doesn't believe.
I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why.
Why?
Because that's not something that you can accurately measure.
I can't accurately
measure. You
can't
accurately measure how disenfranchised a woman is in the African American community or the black community. You can't measure that disenfranchisement against a woman who is disenfranchised from her man in Pakistan or in Afghanistan. You know, women of other ethnicities and races, they're oppressed too.
I didn't say anything about
they're disenfranchised.
No. Wait. I didn't say anything about. I did not say that other women are not oppressed. There's a big difference.
Okay, well, I'm saying that as far as
absolutely, women around the globe are oppressed. I said disenfranchised from their men. Slavery already set up that dynamic. It's already been set up.
Okay, I'm gonna disagree with you.
Go ahead. You can. You can.
African American women are more educated.
What does education have to do with it?
If you cut me off one more time,
I'm gonna cut you off one more doggone time. What does it have to?
African American women are employed in greater numbers than black men. Just let me finish my point.
Go ahead.
African American women, by and large, are more educated than African American men.
Mm-hmm.
African American women tend to get more leniency and more justice. Let me finish in our justice system. So when you're saying disenfranchised, black women are more disenfranchised from their men, wouldn't the proper thing to say that in an American society, African American men are more disenfranchised from their women? Because you all are allowed advantages that we don't get.
But having advantages thrust upon us by the outside world is not what I'm talking about.
Okay, then
I'm talking about black men and women being related. The fact that the majority,
maybe disenfranchised wasn't a good word,
or it could be you need to dig out the dictionary. But
go ahead.
But the point I'm making, when you see that the majority of our households are run or head by women, that tells you that we are disconnected. We do not have that.
You need to find another word.
We do not.
You need to find another word.
I don't need to find another word.
You need to find another word, because disenfranchised means deprive someone of the right to vote.
Keep going.
Deprive the power, marginalized.
Okay.
Deprive someone of of privilege.
And why does number 2 and number 3 does not? Why don't they apply here?
They don't apply.
Why?
They don't apply.
Why?
Deprive of a right or privilege. What rights are African American women deprived of? What right or privilege that you all are deprived of that black men are allowed to have?
You
said disenfranchised. That's your word. I looked up the you told me to look at the dictionary.
I said from black men. And so what does that have? The rights that you say that black women have, and I agree that there are a lot of things that we have that are denied black men. What does that have to do with how we're connecting to each other? Because
that's not that you use. Because you use the word disenfranchised,
and I can't use that word.
Okay, y'all remember that character on Living Color? Oswald.
I said our natural mate. I said our natural mate.
Natural mates.
There are some privileges and rights to that. Absolutely.
So,
and the fact that we have, post-slavery, we are looking at, like I said, the majority of our households being run by single black women tells you that this is exactly what's happening.
we're going to address that in future shows. If she come back, I mean, right now I was able to talk to her probation officer and let her extend the length of her ankle bracelet. You ain't going to make her raise her legs up because she probably ain't got no drawers on.
This was a special, this was one of those special pleas I had to make.
We're going to go in there into another show. But the last 20 minutes of our show.
Okay. It's going to be curse-free?
I left the bell in the car. The last woman I had to bring a bell because people said I cursed too much, and it was like ringing the whole show.
You know what? I was thinking I needed a part-time job, because I have a birthday coming up. But I think
what you doing for your birthday?
I'm going to have a good old house party in Chicago.
Oh, you going to Chicago have a house party? That means that she going to come back with bullet wounds.
No, that's not what that's
There will be a shooting. There will be a shooting, especially on the south side.
My brother will be heading up security. Thank you very much.
What he gonna do? Block bullets?
I'm just saying we will. Okay. It'll be all good. It's February, But anyway, don't distract me.
I'm not.
I'm gonna bring a cuss jar, and I'm gonna have the cuss jar right here. And you know what? There it is. Thank you, Jesus. Showed me the way.
A curse jar?
Yes.
You've been hanging around with white people too much.
I don't give a shit. That's the easy part. That's the easiest bread anybody can make. Put a cuss jar in front of you.
You had your mortgage payment in the whole 2 hours.
I'm just saying. I'm bringing it.
I'm gonna bring a roll of pennies. Make it real cheap.
Hey, they add up.
Make it real cheap.
They add up. So what's the next 20
The next subject is I'm blocked on social media again.
Oh my goodness.
Well, Of course you all know that I came off punishment last week for my show on my other profile, and somebody in some group, some gay dude or some lesbian woman took offense to something that I said, and they blocked me. Let me just say this. The LGBT community, fuck y'all.
Oh, that's okay.
Y'all are the most oppressive motherfuckers in the world. No, I'm dead serious.
I understand what you're saying.
They use the same techniques to oppress and to suppress dissent as they claim people do with them. And they do it with people who have no power to hold them down. Like, it's a conversation that I touched on last week about gay black men and them, not being the friend of black women that some black women think they are. Mm-hmm. When one of the guys had stated that, black women that have a problem with homosexuals need to not worry, not be so quick to put down homosexuals because of all the DL men that go home to them. And I'm like, yo, these dudes aren't your friend, because if they were really your allies, they wouldn't be sleeping with these men knowing that they sending them back home to a woman.
Yeah.
And I guess somebody from the doodle chaser community.
Oh my gosh.
From the cock holster community took offense to what I said. They took offense to what I said.
I'm gonna need a contract when I step up in here.
They reported. Look, let me tell you something. And see, look, y'all, Denise the Bee's been knowing me for about 20 years, right? Mm-hmm. And she ain't this shit that I'm saying right now is she's playing the role. She's a very great actress, but this shit ain't something she ain't heard me say before. So don't take the shit that she doing. All you people that work with her that's looking at this page, she laughs at all this shit I say off the fucking record. So trust me, she laughing. But I'm saying that to say, like I said, the first episode. Here's the problem that I have with the LGBT community. Mm-hmm. It ain't got nothing to do with that. It ain't got nothing to do with who they sleep with. Mm-hmm. It ain't got nothing to do with you being a man trying to carry yourself as a woman. Old sweet moist booty ass motherfucker. It has nothing to do with that. Mm-hmm. The problem I have with them motherfuckers is this: if I make a joke about white people, they laugh. Mm-hmm. If I make a joke about Jewish people, they laugh. Mm-hmm. If I make a joke about women, they laugh. If I make a joke about any particular demographic, they laugh. But the minute I make a joke about a gay person or make a comment about a gay person, now you done lost your shit. See, comedy is fucking comedy. And what you can laugh at, I mean, the thing that brings us together is our ability to laugh at ourselves.
Right.
And in laughing at ourselves, ourselves the white people, ourselves the black people, ourselves the gay people. So when they take a comment like that and they become so vicious in their response. I'm not bagging that. First, I knock your sweet ass out. That's the first thing. And the second thing is you not a boy. I don't give a fuck if you buy all the damn baggy pants out the men's section and the flannel shirts and you walk around in boxer shorts and you keep your dildos strapped on you at all time. That don't make you a man. Okay? I got to say that because a lot of y'all get confused.
Are we talking about black lesbian women now?
We talking about lesbian women. We talking about gay men. And see, what happens is that we have a degenerate young generation. I'm just gonna be the first to say it, and everybody that know me know I defend the youth all the time. But at the same time, we have a degenerate generation where they look at that type of shit, it's normalized to them, and they don't understand why people dissent. And let me just say this, because I ain't got that much time left. All you fag hags, Chris Wiggins, all you, when you say, when the subject is homosexuality or the LGBT community, when you say that you must be on the DL because you having a problem with it, or so-and-so you wouldn't be talking about it, or you must really be in the closet, I want you to really think about that, why I say this. If I'm having a discussion with a devout racist, how does it sound when I say, oh, you just really black? Or if I'm having a discussion with a feminist, how silly does it say, oh, you feel that way because you really want to be a man? You sound ignorant as a person either defending the gay community or a person belonging to the gay community to level the accusation either directly or by innuendo that a person is gay or a person is secretly gay, as if you're insulting them. You're insulting them by accusing them of being something that you are. What are you trying to say about being gay? I wouldn't accuse, if I, just hypothetically speaking, I'm gonna put pause all over this. If I'm a gay person and I'm defending gay rights and I'm defending gay people, it don't make no sense to me to tell a person that's straight, well, the only reason you probably feel that way is because you have secret feelings of being gay. No. Motherfucker, I don't want you associated with me or my kind. No, you's a motherfucking knuckle-dragging heterosexual motherfucker. That's what you are. You probably fuck kids. You probably have sex with your sister. I would throw any accusation out there, but I would not level that type of innuendo against somebody. So when I'm having this discussion and I'm not the most pro-homosexual person in the world, that does not necessarily mean that I hate gay people. I got gay people in my family. I mean, that don't mean I hate gay people. That means that I'm just not pro-homosexual. I'm not going to wear pink. I'm not going to fly a rainbow flag. To be perfectly honest with you, there's no intersectionality with me and my cause as a heterosexual black man or as a black person in general, that with the gay community, which is what they come up with that bullshit, this intersectionality. No, and we ain't got none of that. Well, it's just not, your fight is not my fight.
But I think that's the problem, that there isn't any intersectionality. And so that's actually my issue with the LGBT community. And it's the same way with, what we see with white feminists, and not taking into consideration what are the struggles and what are the pain points of black women, and including that as part of the agenda.
They include y'all when they need numbers.
And so I think that the LGBT community doesn't do that, particularly when you're looking at, white gay men. They have a whole different set of issues, and those issues are being addressed. The struggle, guess what? Police officers, they shoot at gay black men, and the LGBT community isn't talking about that. So I mean, that's my issue with the LGBT community.
LGBT community,
and I think that
is full of shit, just like the feminist community. I'm just gonna say it.
Go say it.
I'm just gonna say it. Y'all full of shit. Y'all use black people when you need numbers, when you need support. You use us for fucking cannon fodder, and then when it's our fucking issue, then all of a sudden you all out to be found. Where the fuck is GLAD, that organization for fucking feminists? Where the fuck are you all when black women are gunned down? Rakia Boyd, Sandra Bland. Where the fuck are you all as an organization?
Absolutely.
Y'all are completely fucking absent. Where's the gay community? Where the gay communities, the rainbow flag wearing motherfuckers, when we are oppressed socially? When in Chicago, over 40 high schools are closed, 40 schools in the black community are closed. Where you motherfuckers at on issues of us being denied rights and privileges in the black community when our schools are being closed? You all the motherfuckers are nowhere to be found. But then you want to talk this intersectionality bullshit. No, intersection my ass. Step your ass out there in traffic and get hit by a bus, you bitches. That's what the fuck I'm saying. And you ain't my ally. Your fight is not my fight. My fight is for black people, black men, black women, black children, and then I can link up with y'all if we have a common enemy. But when you all the motherfucking denied the right to buy a motherfucking birthday cake, you denied the right for a motherfucker to make your wedding cake, you two faggots. Now, I don't give a fuck. I don't eat cake.
So we have a responsibility in that argument. The same way that black women who refer to ourselves as feminists and are
nappy head musty bitches. Go ahead.
And are being sucked into an agenda that does not include our issues and what's important to us and just in terms of our daily living, our daily existence. So should the black, gay, and lesbian community be doing and saying the same thing.
Fuck them.
You
either gonna be black or you gonna be gay.
Well,
period. You can't be both. You can't motherfucking come to a damn a march and you want to motherfucking get your ass up there and promote an agenda specifically for you because you're gay. No, go have your little funky ass march where only 20 or 30 people will fucking show up. Let me say something to the black feminists. I see how she looking at me, but she know I'm about to throw a motherfucking fastball.
Oh my gosh. I got
black feminists, I'm going to say this again. Week after fucking week. You all are nothing more than a tool in the tool shed of white supremacy to oppress people of color, specifically black people, and particularly black men. Period. Because if you all was worth the damn, if you all was worth the goddamn...
He never put the period.
If you all was worth the damn...
period.
Hold on, because the period is coming. If you all were worth the damn... If you all were worth the damn, then you all as a unit, as a combination, as a community, you would be standing behind Jamel Hill. The only time you funky ass hoes come out your damn holes is when it's an opportunity to attack a black man. Just a couple of days ago, you bitches was real fucking active when you all took your damn positions on Cam Newton, and now one of your own, who I would consider Jamel Hill a black feminist, one of your own just got canned by ESPN for 2 weeks, and y'all funky asses acting like all the duct tape from Home Depot is missing because somebody just slapped it on your mouths. So you all are worthless. You all are an enemy of the fucking community. I don't like you, and fuck you. Go ahead.
You've been watching Tommy Sotomayor?
Oh, no. I don't like that nappy head black motherfucker.
Oh, my gosh.
Tommy Sotomayor hates black women. I don't.
All of that?
I don't like black feminists, just like I don't like Shea Butter Hoteps. Shea Butter Hoteps who have activated their blackness today to talk about Eminem. And I would really like for them to put on display what you all have done for the community within the last 7 days. So I would really like to know.
So they, and I say we, not as a black feminist, because I'm not a black feminist, but as a black woman, we got to be all that. Seriously.
Who got to be all of that?
I said we got to be all that.
Who? Who's we?
I said I'm not talking, including myself as a black feminist, because I'm not a black feminist. I said as black women, we got to be all that.
Why does me talking about black feminists like that, it have to be all inclusive of black women? You just
I didn't say. Hold on. I said I am talking not as a black feminist because I'm not. I said, but as black women, because whether you agree with black feminists or not, they're still black women. So I'm saying with my black woman hat on, because yes, I do have one, why we got to be all that? Put the period.
This is a false equivalence. This is a particular type of propaganda that...
I agree. Black feminists are being used.
I don't
the
think
black LGBT
my mama
community
used to.
is
My mama
being
Irma
used.
Jean Johnson used to always say, "A motherfucker only does to you what you allow them to do."
I agree.
So if black feminists are being used, they are allowing themselves to be used, and they're allowing themselves to be used willingly
And we
because
have
it benefits them.
I don't know that it benefits us. And
It
if
don't benefit them,
and-
but in their eyes, it does.
Well,
This all goes back to the plantation. It all
well,
goes
it
back to
does.
the clip.
And so we all. Here's the thing. You know, whether you were a house slave or you were a field slave, you know, we all went through some conditioning, and so. You know, that's where we are. And so it's about how do you elevate yourself.
Well, you know,
all I'm saying is why we gotta be bitches. Damn.
No, black women ain't got to be bitches. Black feminists, who just so happen to be black.
Black
women
feminists
are
do not-
bitches.
do not
and black feminists just is not limited to black women. See?
I didn't
see. There are black men who consider themselves feminists.
I understand that.
Fuck
you
them
said,
too.
Okay. Whoever. Why we got to be bitches? Why we cannot just
You
be
don't
right
have
now
to be bitches.
uninformed?
They don't have to be bitches. They just have to stop hurting us.
agree.
They just have to stop hurting the movement.
I agree.
And I said something about shea butter Negroes too.
I understand that.
Why
too.
is it when I say something that encompasses other motherfuckers like black men who walk around here thinking that they so uber black? That's not a problem with black women. But
No,
when I
that
say
is a
shit about
problem.
black feminists,
Excuse me, I already addressed that earlier. Thank you very much. So, you need a period.
I don't need no damn period.
You need a damn period.
I don't need no
I'm gonna
period.
buy you a motherfucking period. Yes, I said it. I'm gonna buy you a motherfucking period.
So look, we're gonna wrap this show up. This was a damn disaster. this is a goddamn disaster. I shouldn't have had a motherfucker from Chicago on the show with me. I knew it wasn't gonna go well, but fuck it. I just, she's available.
I thought it was good.
It was a good show. I mean, we need to pick up them damn numbers. Y'all share this damn this broadcast when I put it on, because again, we need the hits, we need the numbers. Y'all a little bit shabby on me today. I done learned how to put this shit on Instagram. So again, yes, I thank you all for listening to the show. Once again, I'm going to release or put up one of my favorite clips of Minister Farrakhan. The 27th anniversary of the Million Man March is coming up.
It's today, isn't it?
No, the 22nd anniversary of the Million Man March is coming up. No, it's the 15th.
But no, well,
October 15th. He's
Right.
speaking. He's speaking in New Jersey. Y'all know I love Minister Farrakhan. He'll gonna always
But
be
the-
love for me on this show.
right, the anniversary of the Justice or Else March is
Right.
today.
Yeah. So, this was a clip. This is Streetz Iz Talking radio show. This is a clip of Minister Farrakhan tearing the asshole out of Mike Wallace. We will see y'all. Hopefully, if she, get the stomach to come back.
I ain't scared of you. The
Get the
hell.
stomach to come back. But this is Streetz Iz Talking radio. This is TJ the Chicago Kid and Denise the Beast. We the fuck out of here, you funky bitches.
Louis Farrakhan.
The most corrupt nation in Africa, and it is. It could be.
Of Louis Farrakhan.
You go to Nigeria, which is, if not the most corrupt nation in Africa, and it is, it could be the most corrupt nation in the world, Minister Farrakhan.
Oh, now, Mr. Wallace.
It is the most corrupt nation that I have ever covered. I've been there 25 years ago, and I've been there as recently as last year.
Fine. So what? 35 years old. That's what that nation is. Now here's America, 226 years old. You love democracy, but there in Africa, you're trying to force these people into a system of government that you just have accepted. 30 years ago, black folk got the right to vote. You're not in any moral position to tell anybody how corrupt they are. You should be quiet and let those of us who know our people go there and help them get out of that condition. But America should keep her mouth shut wherever there's a corrupt regime, as much hell as America has raised on the earth. No, I will not allow America, or you, Mr. Wallace, to condemn them as the most corrupt nation on earth when you have spilled the blood of human beings. Has Nigeria dropped an atomic bomb and killed people in Hiroshima and Nagasaki? Have they killed off millions of Native Americans? How dare you put yourself in that position as a moral judge? I think you should keep quiet.
Because with that much blood on America's hands, you have no right to speak. I will speak because I don't have that blood on my hand. Yes, there's corruption there. Yes, there's mismanagement of resources. Yes, there is abuse. There's abuse in every nation on earth, including this one. So let's not play holy to moralize on them. Let's help them.
I'm not moralizing. I'm asking a question, and I got an answer.
Why would you put it as the most corrupt regime in the world? That doesn't make sense.
Can you think of one more corrupt?
Yeah, I'm living in one. I'm living in one. Yes. You've done a hell of a thing on this earth, so you should not be the one to talk. You should be quiet when it comes to moral condemnation.